You're listening to a DM podcast.
Welcome to Over the Back Fence. I'm Di Edwards.
I'm Nicola Dale, and we're buddies of nearly 4 decades. And yes, we actually do happen to share a back fence.
We do. We love parties, people, inspirational stories, and honestly, making the most out of life.
So join us as we open our hearts, share our stories, and hear from some of the most inspirational people in the world. And have a laugh along the way.
Yeah.
Enjoy.
Coming up is someone that I've admired since I saw her first show, the divine Miss M, and I still haven't recovered from it. She's the most dynamic, remarkable woman, whether it's acting or musical theatre or doing a one-woman show or producing. Or she does a lot for charity.
She does so much. So we know we've got Catherine Alcorn coming up, and it was absolutely one of the best interviews. I mean, they're all fantastic, but this one was super special. She's got a huge heart and does so much for other people, and I think there might be a little sing-along too. We've got Diney here, funny about that.
This woman has a voice and a heart. I've never heard a voice like it, actually.
No.
She was trained by the man that discovered Bette Midler, and he trained her voice for 5 years. Yeah. So every time she speaks, I go, oh my God, is it Bette? As Nicola just said, she's a really good human. It gives back to the community.
Real, raw,
fun,
authentic,
funny. But against all odds, she's someone that will actually step up to the mark and go and
make
believe,
it happen.
And believe.
Self-belief.
And she talks a lot about that. If you're in a rut or haven't got direction, she's remarkable because she'll weave that into her own story of how she had a determination, and no matter what. And as you were saying also, Nicola, timing is everything. And that she kept saying, and I manifested it, and you've heard that word before, and it all came to fruition. So, even on that level, it'll be very inspiring.
Yeah, she's an absolute dynamo. You're going to absolutely love Catherine.
Yeah.
We certainly did.
I haven't come down from it.
And so I'm sure you will too.
And the sing-song too. Poor Nicola. She's like, but anyway, enjoy, guys.
Enjoy.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what, Diney, talking at the back fence today.
Yeah.
Very excited.
Yeah.
We have got the fabulous...
And while you say that, at one stage we said to each other who we'd like to meet at the back fence. Who did I want to meet?
You wanted to meet Catherine Alcorn, didn't you?
Who was in a musical?
Bette Midler.
Playing Bette Midler.
I know,
so I wanted to
did.
beat Bette Midler over the back fence.
So Di has requested you for...
Well, it's like, to me, when you just said meet us over the back fence, it's like my dream come true.
I know. Well, dreams do come true.
Yeah.
So we have got the one and only, and what doesn't she do really? Vocalist, cabaret star, entertainer, comedian, presenter, producer, one and only Catherine. Welcome to the back fence.
Thank you so much, Nicola and Di. This is so exciting. Yeah. I'm so happy to be here.
I feel like I've just turned up at lunch with a girlfriend.
I know. Well, I've got a bottle of wine down here, so just let me know when you want to crack it.
Last time we poured the wine in an interview, we got into trouble.
Not this time, darling.
Well, welcome. So tell us, you've just been touring around non-stop, haven't you?
I have. I've got a week off this week. Since July, I've been in rehearsals and on a regional tour of Australia with Menopause the Musical. I consider myself, I'm 42 and I'm pre-Perry Spice in the mix. But what's really interesting is that when the cast was announced, I'm on stage with some of Australia's greatest comedic actresses and vocalists. All of these women are musical theatre stalwarts. I have been auditioning for musical theatre for 15 years, and this is the first show I've been cast in. And that's not to say that I'm not talented enough or I don't fit the puzzle. For me, I just knew it was going to be about timing and the right role. So I got cast. Cameron Mitchell is directing it. It's a brand new production. The show is hysterical, wonderful singing, fantastic choreography set. So we have been on the road for 5.5 months.
Which is very successful.
5.5 months.
It's obviously a successful
I can't even imagine
production.
what that's like.
In a word, it's grueling.
Yes,
it is
I bet.
grueling. We are playing regional towns. Last week we just finished our Queensland leg. We were playing Mackay, Cairns, Billawheeler, Roma. I mean, we went back of Burke. It was incredible.
But isn't that so good for like the locals?
It is
get
so
to see
wonderful.
Great talent like that.
It is, because a lot of these towns don't get these travelling shows, and a lot of the townsfolk can't afford to travel to the capital cities to see these big musicals. So we're creating this incredible microeconomy wherever we go, the hotels, the restaurants, the food, not just because we're in town, but also because people are out celebrating and then coming to see the show. And the feedback, every show has been sold out. Every single show. Thank you.
That's
well,
amazing.
thanks.
Yes.
Congratulations to the producers. I wish I was producing this one, but not this time.
Still.
It's just been incredible. But it is grueling. It's exhausting. I'm away from my family. I'm away from my son who's in kindergarten. So
That'd be tough.
it's really tough. It's definitely a roller coaster.
I just want to take you back to, for example, like with me, and as Nicola's known me for 40 years, I never stop singing. Singing makes me happy. Did I sing as a little girl? No. But some people go to choirs or through church. Some people sing in the shower. Where did it start for you that you went, God, I actually haven't got a bad voice? Because yours is big, large, loud, sassy, fabulous voice.
Oh, thank you very much.
Love it.
Yeah, she's the bomb.
Yeah, she's the bomb.
The diva bomb. It was just always something I've done. It wasn't even a choice for me.
When you say done, as in...
It was, singing was always something my body produced.
Wow. Part of your life growing up, was it?
Exactly.
Wow.
Vocalising was just something I'd always done. From a little girl,
Can you get me a sandwich, Mum?
Well, I tell you, I used to harmonise with the vacuum cleaner.
Oh, there we go.
So
I knew I'd nail it.
yeah,
when Mum
that's
was
it.
vacuuming,
Yeah.
I'd hear and then like as a 2 or 3 year old I go
Wow.
I love harmony. I love singing harmony, but I was just musical.
So it's
I
part
was
of your
born,
DNA.
absolutely.
And were your
was.
parents musical too?
Mum is a musical person. She was the choir teacher at school, and she
brilliant.
she was
Lucky.
the only piano teacher on the staff at Davidson High. So she got roped into leading the choir, which was wonderful.
Wow.
And I found out that Mum's dad, Cliff, and Mum's mum, Catherine. Mum grew up in Bondi. She was a Bondi girl. And Cliff was a plumber, but he also had an amazing tenor voice. So I was always going to be a diva with pipes. You know?
Wow, that's
there you
brilliant.
go.
Love that.
Good question, Jai.
Yeah,
that's so
great.
interesting.
Yeah.
Isn't
No,
it?
it
Wow.
intrigues me because, there's so many platforms these days, such as The Voice or Idol or whatever, where, there's opportunities for people to step up. Here I have a voice.
Yep.
But it's actually, where did that stem from and how do you nurture that? The vacuum.
Yeah,
Yeah,
the
I love
vacuum.
it.
I'll never forget that.
In your blood, isn't
Yeah,
it? Really?
Hearing it, Mum would have music on. When we drive up to the farm in Kyoga where Dad was from, we'd always have music playing in the car. I was just given a really great education of music from my parents, and I was always singing. And so at school I joined the Australian Girls Choir, did all of the school shows, and then for my HSC I took voice. So I studied classical and jazz, and from there it was just a natural progression. I studied acting for the screen and stage in Wagga Wagga.
Oh, Wagga Wagga.
Yes.
Wow.
Just
Well,
the-
you went to Charles. Did you
we
go to
went
Charles
Sturt. It's an interesting course, though. I didn't know the universities offered that. I thought you had to go to a place like NIDA or some other performing arts sort of centre.
Well, yeah, indeed. And what I found in Wagga as well is that the local media embraced us as well. So we got experience going on local radio, being on local TV to promote all of the work we
Love
were
it.
doing. So even though, people would say, what the hell are you going to Wagga for? My dad's a farmer. I have no
fantastic.
problem going to the country,
love that.
It's great.
stick me in a bar, in a country pub with a bourbon
Bit of
and
hay
Coke.
sticking out.
Absolutely.
Well, and look what you're doing now.
Yeah,
in
and
the
she's
country
sitting in the
as well
corner.
too,
Yes,
you
and
know.
that's why I love touring regionally as well.
course.
Yeah, it really makes my heart happy. I get to see Australia, I get to meet the people, step into their world for 24 hours, town to town, hear their stories, and we have met some incredible people along
Speaking
the
of
menopause
people,
tour.
who do we love?
Oprah.
Oh,
yes, so tell us
We
about
both
Oprah.
adore that woman.
So
and,
tell us your
yeah.
role with
Yeah, where
what-
did it begin for you with the production, the Australian production
Well-
that Oprah was associated with?
Well, funnily enough, I went to uni in Wagga, then went overseas and travelled for a few years. I did this sort of Australian rite of passage, went to Whistler and then lived in London. So I moved back to Australia after being overseas, and I wanted to get back into the industry. And a friend of mine who was at Channel 9 said the director, head of sport, is looking for a personal assistant. Are you interested? I said, yeah, stars in my eyes. I was the worst personal assistant in the history of PAs. But I loved it. I loved being around.
Confidence gets you everywhere.
But I loved being around the talent, the filing, not so much. But honestly, I'm the biggest 12th Man fan as well. So being around all of the sportsmen in the sports cottage. Yeah, and then I went freelance in 2010 and I was with a company called Calling All Crew. The beautiful Maria at Calling All Crew called me one day and she said, now, got a bit of a gig for you. And I said, okay. She said, it's with Oprah for the ultimate Australian...
A bit of a gig.
A bit of a gig for you. She said, now you can choose where you'd like to go because they're going to 5 different areas in Australia. But I said... Northern Territory.
Yeah.
That's where I want to go.
Wow, cool.
Yep. And I was assigned to look after Oprah's cameraman, Keith Walker, who I'm still very good friends with today in Chicago. Yes.
Wow.
I got flown into Darwin and we were introduced to the 16 women who had chosen to go to the NT. So we had a ceremony there. Everyone got an Akubra hat. It was just wonderful. And I snapped some photos. So I've still got this photo album of my time with Oprah, which was incredible.
And Oprah came out.
So the American producer said, I said, look, is there going to be an opportunity to meet her? And they said to me, we'll make sure of it. However, on the day when she arrived, it was a blistering hot day. O was waiting out on the tarmac. All of the paparazzi was standing at the gate at the airport. Oprah had her security. She had some big trucks there that were full of iced water and everything. And I had a feeling that the timing wasn't going to happen for me to meet her. So I grabbed a couple of bottles of water and I walked out.
See, bullshit. I love it.
Well, you know
I
what?
love it.
You
In
know
life,
what?
you just get walked over. You just go stand up and be counted.
Well, I grabbed a couple of bottles
this.
of water. I walked up to O and I said, hi, Oprah. I'm Catherine. I'm your production assistant. Would you like a bottle of water? And she said, no, thank you very much.
Vodka?
And then yeah.
Tequila?
Exactly.
Tequila.
Anything.
Yeah.
And then she reached out and grabbed one and she lifted her hair up and she put a bottle of water on the back of her neck. And someone snapped it. And that picture was the cover of the Northern Territory Times the next
that's
day.
with you in it.
My goodness.
And that was just of her.
Yes, but still.
But
Who
that
put the bottle
moment
there?
was captured, and I've still got the paper
Gorgeous.
at home at Mum and Dad's
That's
because I've
iconic.
kept it.
What
Yeah.
a story. That is amazing.
Something with production wasn't sitting so right. You decided you wanted to change. What happened and where did you go from there?
What happened was a group of my girlfriends from Wagga who I'd worked and studied with had a show called The Fabulous Chandeliers, and they were fabulous. So they were launching their show in Sydney at Slide Lounge, just up on Oxford Street.
right.
Yes.
Leslie Hancock.
And the man who wrote it, Peter Cox, who's a very, very dear friend of mine, he was there that night. And I walked into this venue, into this French cabaret club with chandeliers and the light up stage and the dining and the intimacy. And I just fell in love with the genre straight away. And I raced up to Coxie after the show and I said, Coxie, I've been out of it for a while. I need a show to launch me back into the industry. And he said, well, who do you want to do? And I said, Bette Midler.
Oh,
Are you kidding me?
That's
how
it.
That's how
That's
it
it.
happened.
Just like that.
And 3 weeks later,
I've
I had
got
a
goosebumps
script.
now.
Yeah.
Are you serious? 3 weeks
But
later?
hold on, who wrote the scripts?
Peter Cox.
No,
Yes.
you just said, I want to be, and he went, right, I'll write it.
That's right.
Oh, this is magic. This
Yeah.
is music
Isn't
to
it?
my ears.
Yeah.
But, so he wrote it.
Yep. So he pieced together the show for me. We picked the material. He formulated everything. And then a few months later, I launched it at Slide. And that was in 2010.
Yes.
And the show kept selling and selling and selling. And then we became a resident show. We played once a month at Slide. And we have never looked back. Cut to 2018. I played the Sydney Opera House.
Look at that.
I toured to America.
Now, how did that come about, America?
I became the marketing manager for Slide and then the creative director.
What doesn't she do,
that.
Really?
Well, because look, when I was producing The Divine Miss Bette, I had just finished at 9. I was 27. I saved up $3,000, was living with mum and dad. I sat at the kitchen table, taught myself how to use an online program to design my poster, built my website, wrote my press release, called journalists myself, cold calling.
Hello.
Hello. You don't know me, but this is what I'm doing.
Proactive. Yeah.
Well, I had to be out of necessity. And I also believed in myself and I believed in the show.
Yeah.
And I knew that this show would bring people abundant amounts of joy.
And just saying that, like, I love your words when you said, I believe in myself. Did you always have that in you? How did you get that self-belief? Because I love hearing you say that.
Well, thank you.
Yeah.
I mean, I didn't always have that, no. I mean, you know, when you're a teenager, everything's a mess when you're a teenager. You know what it's like inside that head and that body. But I knew this is what I wanted to do. So I focused fiercely on this project.
We love that.
Thank you.
Yeah.
That's beautiful.
And I didn't give up. There have been so many highs and lows, but that show has, and Peter Cox, who very sadly passed away only a month ago.
Yes. Leslie was saying.
Yes.
So sorry to hear that too.
Well, thank you.
Yeah, he was formative for your career, wasn't he?
I owed him my career. The Divine Miss Bette created this world for me.
Tell me about your association with Steve Ostro.
Steve
who was
Ostro.
associated with the real Bette Midler.
That's
How
right.
did that come about?
So I'm a songwriter as well. I write my own material. And I was working on some of my songs with a cellist from the Brandenburg Orchestra who lives in my building in Elizabeth Bay. And I was telling him about this little Bette Midler show that I was creating. And he said, well, you know, the man who discovered her lives just around the corner from you.
The man that discovered Bette Midler, just by having a chat to the guy in the building, says...
See, that's community and
That's
connection.
what I'm just
You know, we're
thinking,
just talking
Nicola.
about over the back fence things. It's just that simple chat and how one thing can lead to something
And Nick
else.
and I, we see people I just got stuck at an airport for a day. I knew everyone in the airport, but I love that.
I love that.
You know?
Exactly.
So you rang him or you went to his...
I was still behind the
Were you a stalker? Like how did
I didn't say
Can I sweep your floors?
politely aggressive, I might say. I mean, look, for me, this is just serendipity. This is the universe going, you're doing the right thing. You're doing the right thing. And here are these little gifts that are proving that you are on the right track, girl.
Now, listeners, make note of what she just said, because she had the intention and the universe dropping the little breadcrumbs along the pathway.
The little treats.
Yep. And with persistence too. So, you went, you didn't come easy.
Did you not sing outside his apartment? Did you ever hear like a hero? And he's like, bloody hell, who's that?
Who's this?
I'm dying to know, how did you meet him?
Okay,
Sorry.
so I'm still behind the desk at Channel 9. I'm answering phones. I'm
Yes.
fielding calls.
Yep.
And I Google Steve one day and I find out that he moved to Australia when the Continental Bathhouse closed down in the 70s. So Steve was the manager of the Continental Bathhouse in New York City in the 70s.
I don't know what that is.
I'm going to tell you.
Yeah.
So the Continental Bath was a gay bathhouse,
Right.
where men used to go to hang out.
No
you know,
wonder-
lots of frivolity,
Guys
lots
hang.
of action.
wasn't my scene, yeah.
No, it wasn't your scene. Lots of heat, lots of steam.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, right.
But in America in the 70s, being gay was illegal. You would be
Unbelievable.
arrested.
How far we've come.
It is
Now,
unbelievable.
thank God.
Yes. Yeah.
So that meant that the bathhouse, the Continental Baths, were being raided by the police, if not daily, then absolutely weekly. So Steve, whose wife was called Joanne, who was an actor and an artist as well, he came home one night and he said, I need some entertainment. I need a band, a live singer to help take the patrons' minds off the fact that they're going to be raided, arrested, beaten at any minute by the police. So Joanne said, there's this little pocket rocket in my acting class. She is out of this world. She waits tables down in Soho, and every so often the waiters get up and sing a song. You need to go and check out this girl. So Steve took himself down to Soho and he was served by a young, dumpy waitress with frizzy brown hair. Then she got up on the
I don't think many
stage.
people heard any of this story.
Didn't know this.
She got up on the stage and she sang The Man in the Moon. And he said as soon as she started singing, you could hear a pin drop and she became luminous.
This is
And
Bette
I'll
Midler.
never forget him telling me this story. So it was Bette Midler.
I'm over the back fence with that. That's how goosebumpy
I know.
am.
That was Di's pick of anybody who's been Bette Midler.
He called her over back to his table after she'd finished singing and he said, I want to hire you. And she said, what for? And he said, I want to hire you to sing in my club. And she said, well, what kind of a club is it? And he said, it's a bathhouse. And she said, you want me to sing in a steam room? And he said, I'll pay you $25 a night. She said, sold. So then he paired her up with a patron who he knew played the piano, who was Barry Manilow.
No!
You're kidding.
No!
So I Google Steve Ostro, I call him up, and I have a chat with him for a little while. I told him I'm about to open a show. I want to get my instrument in shape. I'd love to start having vocal lessons with you because he had become a vocal coach. And at the end of the conversation, he said, so what kind of a show is it? And I said, well, actually, it's a Bette Midler show. And he said, oh, Bette. I remember Bette. I used to pay her $25 a night. Now she's making $100 million a year. Why don't you come around and I'll tell you all about it?
Oh.
So I did, and we trained together for 5 years classically. The stories that he used to tell me.
I'm speechless. How
That's
rare,
amazing,
how rare
isn't
is
it?
that?
From the horse's
when am I
mouth,
speechless?
Never.
Never.
I never. So tell us, Di likes a little Bette Midler
I'm
sing-along. Do you have
just
a
like
favourite song? What do
shock.
you like to do?
Did you ever know that you're my hero?
Everything
I would like to be. I can fly higher than an eagle. You are the wind beneath my wings.
Oh, it's so nice when someone sings it to you, I must say.
Oh, that's beautiful.
That's beautiful.
Well,
I tell you
Jodie.
what, every single person has a connection to that song somehow.
Yes.
And so many people come up to me after the show and share their stories with me when I'm at the merch desk, and it's just so special. We got married to that song, or that was my mum's funeral
Yeah,
song,
my
or,
mum's
you know,
funeral,
yeah, and it's just beautiful.
Can we do one more Bette song?
Oh, of course.
Nicholas going.
What would you like to do?
No, I love
she's so
this.
excited.
Music
Some say love,
beautiful.
it is a river that drowns the tender reed. Some say love, it is a razor that leads your soul to bleed. Thank you very much.
Oh,
Thank you.
beautiful.
Thank
That's
you.
my pleasure.
Okay, moving on. Dumb enough songs. You can come back from making a
What
cup
about,
of tea.
I know I like a bit of Fleetwood Mac. You know,
Yes,
do a
yeah,
bit
we
of sing
do.
along to that one. That's
Well,
for sure.
from creating Bette, it just opened up so many other doors for me, including learning about festivals and what other types of venues and stuff. And the Adelaide Cabaret Festival has been instrumental in commissioning so many other pieces of my work. Kate Sobrano was the Adelaide Cabaret Festival artistic director in 2013. I was on the way to my brother's wedding. I always have my best ideas when I'm in the air, when I'm off the ground, when I'm travelling, when I'm sort of
That
up in the
happens,
ether
yeah.
there.
Did you get your good ideas with your flying?
Yeah,
Yes.
Yeah, a lot of times. Yeah, a lot of times.
It's
yeah.
about being
Totally.
disconnected to the earth
Totally.
and sort of being up.
and you
I
didn't
think.
have the internet then. I know you can be connected, but
Right.
you didn't
Exactly.
have that. And something, it's just wonderful. You've got, say, 13 hours ahead of you.
Yes.
And then
Yeah.
bang.
So I was listening to Fleetwood Mac's greatest hits, and one of my favourite songs of theirs, As Long As You Follow, which was composed by McVie, came on. And I thought, where did she go? And why did she quit the band? I'm intrigued why anyone would
No, I actually
quit.
don't know that, why she did. That's interesting.
Well, her father became ill. She wanted to spend more time with him, and she hated flying.
Oh.
She didn't
Bit
want the
Elvis.
touring and a little bit Elvis.
Yeah.
Yeah, the fear.
And the drama. She'd divorced from John McVie.
Yeah,
You know,
yes.
there was so much. I mean, it makes for fantastic dramatic content, obviously.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
But I was really interested to know that someone actively chose to leave that environment and to leave at the height of their fame. Why? So I pitched
She
the
went
idea.
her own way.
She did. And guess what? The show was called Go Your
Your
Own
Own
Way.
There you go.
There you
Bingo.
Wow, amazing.
So I touched down. We were in Santiago. I touched down and I emailed Torben Brookman and Kate Sobrano and I said, I want to tell the story of Christine McVie. And within a couple of hours, they had written back and gone, yes.
Oh, See, she makes things happen.
Yeah.
And so then it happens.
So then it happened. So we premiered Go Your Own Way, the story
Musical
of Christine.
or show?
It's a play with music.
Okay, got it.
Yeah.
Right.
And then we opened it at the 2013 Adelaide Cabaret Festival to incredible reviews. I love that show. I love singing that material.
Can we just note while we're there, you won the best cabaret production in the Broadway World Awards.
Yes.
That's right.
Just while you mentioned Broadway, I was like,
You've won lots of awards.
That was
really,
for Bette,
haven't you?
Was that for Bette?
It was for Bette at the Opera House.
Congratulations.
Yes.
Thank you.
That's huge.
Thank you very much.
Huge.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Like, well done.
Yeah, it's... Look, you don't create the work for those accolades, but there is something very special about being recognised for the work.
Absolutely.
Because
It is
I know it's an
deserved.
iceberg,
It is.
you know,
Yes.
there's so much underneath that you work hard for. So, yeah, that was quite thrilling, that one.
Isn't it wonderful? That's when awards are really sort of like deserving.
Yes.
Because, you know, as was saying, it's all the behind the scenes thing that takes a long time to get there. If you ever do get there.
Yeah, that's right. And I don't necessarily
If you ever
agree.
do get there, you're
yeah.
right.
I
Very
mean,
few
I
do.
don't like art being a competition.
No.
Because art is art. It's created for different reasons and it means different things to different people, but they exist. And that's just the world that we live in. So, yeah, that one was very special.
I was just going to say, with all that, how did you fall in love and meet your husband when you're doing all this sort of stuff? Tell us a little bit.
I love Nicola's question,
just
the
like
personal
to,
one.
Yeah, I just want to get in.
You know I love it, Nicola's question. They're just juicy. I love it.
Just a girlfriend
because you really
thing. I
get
just
to
wanna
know,
like,
get to know
I wanna
you.
know how you met because he's gorgeous.
He is gorgeous.
Oh, I haven't
Absolutely.
met him.
Oh,
And
my gosh.
we are
another one.
celebrating our 10-year anniversary today.
Congratulations.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Yay.
10
Wow,
years of
10
him
years.
surviving me. Well done, Cameron. Congrats.
No wonder your mum's minding
10
of the
years.
one.
Yeah.
Wow, that's
and, you know,
wonderful.
imagine being married to someone, such as you with your world and so busy and coming and going away. It wouldn't be easy.
It's not easy, but
He's
he
easy
is
on the eye. So
He's,
I'm not gonna say
he
that.
is very easy on the
I'll be
eye.
bold to say that.
We met at our mutual best friend's wedding. That's where it was.
There you go.
Mutual best
So it wasn't
friend's
through
wedding. Wow.
bumbly or
It
any of those
was
sort of
IRL.
things. Yes, like this.
It was in real life.
Yeah.
It was
real life. I love that. Real life.
It wasn't
real
love at first sight.
No,
Wow,
no,
okay,
it wasn't.
yeah.
He called me Sarah, and I said that'll do. And then, so I grew up in St Ives, and Cam grew up in Roseville. I went to St Ives High.
Yeah.
We never met, even at parties over the years. I ended up at Barker.
Yes.
Very dear friend of mine, Matthew. He married Alice, and they had their wedding out at Watson's Bay. And I'd been single for a year. I went to this wedding to celebrate my friend getting married. I didn't go to meet anyone, and that's when
That's
it
usually
happens.
Isn't it? Yeah, that's
isn't
what
it? And I
happens,
always
yes.
knew that I would meet someone through a friend
Yeah.
because for me, the filtering's already been done. Matthew's not going to be friends with a dickhead.
Yes.
So, you know, and then there's also
that's
that
true.
trust. There's that trust that comes from my friend who's got a mate, and then, you know, kind of always vet him later.
That's
so,
beautiful.
Yeah, beautiful way to
good.
meet
And
them, yeah.
Obviously, he's supportive because, you know,
Oh
when
my
you're on the
God.
road.
I know you
And
do
how
it.
old's your son?
He's 6.
Oh,
He's
Wow.
6.
Yeah.
Jack Mac.
Formative
Mac.
year.
Yeah.
Formative
Right.
year, 6.
Yeah.
Yep.
Jackson
Yeah.
McDonald. Little Jack Mac.
So who has Jack when you're on tour?
Cam.
So
Yeah.
he sounds
Single dad.
Well,
Yes,
easy
yeah.
on the eye, as you say it, and also sounds like a gorgeous human.
Well, Cam loves what I do. You know, he's a lover of music. He was the station manager at Eastside FM, the community radio station at Paddington Town Hall. He loves what I do. He believes in me, and he supports our lifestyle and just facilitates every corner of my life and this Diva's life choices.
You and I,
you know?
We're just going.
We just
we're
love
going, we
this.
love.
Yeah, we
and
just
something
love
like
love.
That is just beautiful.
It's
Yeah.
magical. This is yummy. This
Yeah.
fills my cup. You know,
I'm
it's
so
just,
glad.
and that's where Nicola's gorgeous, juicy questions lead to. You know, like
Well, he feels
it's
mine
great.
too. Kath and
I
Cam.
love that.
Yeah.
Kath and Cam.
It's like Kath and Kim.
That is such a, sorry, but I was about to say that. We had another
That's how I
Cam
introduce us to
We
each
did
other,
too.
to
Yeah.
other people. I say, we're Kath and
Incredible.
Cam, it's like Kath and Kim, so you'll remember it easily.
Before I forget it, too, I do want to ask you and say about with the Rolling Stones magazine.
Oh my God.
Wow,
Gotta hear
tell
that.
us
Oh
about
my
that.
God.
Didn't she
Wowza.
say wait?
I was invited. I'm an ambassador of Support Act, which is an incredible business and body that supports artists in the Australian music and entertainment industry. And I was invited to participate and be a guest on a brand new series created by Jess Mack called Outside In, which is an interview series where they talk to artists. And Jess created this series because she wanted to ask artists what really goes on, what it's really like to be an artist in the industry, especially the Australian industry, post-COVID, after everything that we've been through, the roller coaster that we all ride as freelancers. And it was a really amazing experience, very amazing. And my episode got released and the response was quite incredible because I talked about the difficulty of living this lifestyle and being a mum and the fact that you are away a lot and the guilt and the remorse and the want and the need to do it. And that balancing act between those emotions, it is so much. And then Jess took portrait photographs while she was introducing us. And then it ended up in Rolling Stone online.
Isn't that amazing?
And I will tell you,
industry.
So cool to get in Rolling Stone
Incredible.
magazine.
That's huge.
But you know what I loved most
she
about
got
it?
her water bottle on Oprah's neck, and she also managed to squeeze in there with Rolling Stone.
she
Go,
do?
girl.
And I think the
Wonderful.
proudest thing for me is that, for 20 years, this wannabe rock star has been rehearsing her answers for when Rolling Stone inevitably interviews me, and to be included in this because I'm sharing a very personal part of me and my story and my experience with brain health, I couldn't be prouder that is why we were included. Because if sharing my story helps one other person feel less alone about battling and riding that wave and, tenacity and self-belief, that's what I wanted to really always be included in it for. So I found out when I was in Hamilton in Victoria. We had a show that night. The cast bought a bottle of champagne to celebrate, and
Wow.
it was just, I cried. I
could
cried.
almost cry for you.
I could, yeah. And
Truly.
I love, once again,
It's
the word self-belief.
Beyond. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, for the girl with the vacuum to be on Rolling Stones magazine.
Like it's
Yeah.
remarkable. Your journeys, like,
and
may
you
I
do a
ask,
lot
Carol?
for charity too, don't you?
Yeah, I try and do as much as I
Lots.
can when and where possible. When the Queensland experienced the devastating floods in 2012, we raised $20,000. When the Orlando shootings happened in the gay clubs in Orlando, Trevor Ashley and I and our dear friend George produced From Sydney with Love and raised $70,000 for the victims and their families. We've got the Oz Music T-shirt day coming up for Support Act.
Right.
So we're going to be doing that. So if you're listening, jump on to Support Act and buy yourself a T-shirt and wear it. I'm a very, very proud ambassador.
Such a balanced human being because, at the end of the day, Nicola and I always talk about like giving back. You've got this incredible career, but woven through your career, there's been all these charities and I'm going to help here and I'm going to do this.
You get a big heart.
Yeah,
a big
exactly.
Heart, and she makes it an action person too.
Yeah,
So
right
you
on.
can
Well, I
have it-
love
you
to
make it happen.
collaborate.
Yeah.
Someone will
Exactly
say,
right.
someone will say,
Yeah.
can you come and sing a song or do just Catherine and a piano? And I'll say, yeah, no worries. But I bring 10 of my friends with me and I get them all to come up and sing a song.
You're the Pied Piper.
I love working together, and I want my friends to work as well. So it really fills my cup. Kath's cup.
Yes,
I
Kath's
get
cup.
filled by being surrounded by that creativity and working with all of my friends.
Because look, you've got us saying your husband's, easy on the eye and he's so supportive and
She
beautiful.
said that 4 times.
Yeah,
I've
but I
noticed.
but I tell you what, I have to say, he's not the only, hunk in the country at the moment. Who do you like, Catherine? Who's your crush? Boy crush?
Oh my
Hello.
God, Robbie Williams.
Hello.
Robbie.
love
Okay,
him.
calm
We
down,
love
Kath.
him.
Just
Tell
calm
us
down.
about your journey with Robbie.
Well, the Divine Miss Bette was playing at the Sydney Coliseum almost a year ago today.
Right.
And the tickets went on sale. I logged on to Ticketek, and whose picture is right next to Robbie Williams on the homepage of Ticketek. It was
How
me.
cool is that? How cool is that? That's fabulous. So cool.
I Instagrammed it and I just said, oh my God, who's next to the Divine Miss Bette, or who's next to Robbie Williams? It's me. and then I said, now Robbie, I've gotten tickets to your show, so just give me a call and let me know when you've secured tickets to my show, and then, we'll be able to meet up. And then began this Has Robbie Called series on Instagram. I've created a highlight. Everyone can go onto my Instagram at Miss Catherine Alcorn and
do
watch.
It, listeners. Do it. Go
seriously.
on it, because I have belly laughed.
We met. Nicola and I met Robbie last year.
I know. You're so lucky.
And to the day we both die, we'll never forget.
What did he say to us?
When he walked in and we were just sitting there with RW. He said glamorous, most glamorous women. Well, we can speak after that.
Oh my God, I bet.
That was it.
That's how he greeted us.
That's what he said.
Tell me though, what's he like?
Beautiful.
Beautiful.
Normal.
Just a lovely man.
Normal,
lovely,
beautiful,
complimentary.
fun.
And he meant it.
Happy.
Yes,
Yeah.
genuine.
Genuine.
And it
Yeah.
was before
Really
the show,
nice.
and he was so relaxed and just at ease and just
and he's clean.
easy.
He doesn't drink anymore.
Yes.
It was like sitting with a friend.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
We felt that comfortable.
Yeah.
Truly,
Beautiful.
yeah.
Din-dins with him. It was lovely.
Yeah, it was really lovely. I didn't eat much, but yeah.
Oh, well,
The diet's
couldn't open your mouth
No, I
after that
went
comment.
to get a bit of lasagna. Went into my ear, I think. Do you know what I mean? I'm trying to be
They're all going
cool. I
glamorous,
was trying to be
glamorous,
glamorous.
yeah.
Like, what's your favourite Robbie song?
Oh, my favourite Robbie song. Oh my goodness.
Angels?
Well, I love Angels.
So
I
do
love Let
I.
Me Entertain You.
Can you sing?
I just
Oh,
love that song.
Can we hear a little bit of that? Can we hear a little bit of that one?
Hell is gone and heaven's here. There's nothing left for you to fear. Shake your ass, come over here now, scream. I'm a burning effigy of everything I used to be. You're my rock of empathy, my dear. So come on, let me entertain you. Ba-ba-da, ba-da-da-da-da, let me entertain you. So I think I reckon he's going to open the concert because we've got the concert tonight.
I know, we're all going
I
listeners
know,
tonight.
it's going to be
which is
fabulous.
We're all in different
Fantastic.
parts of the arena. I'm so excited.
Oh, it's going to
Yeah.
be fabulous.
Yeah,
So
really.
I hope that he's seen the Has Robbie Called series on
We're going
Instagram.
to make sure somehow it has to get to
He
him.
ha-
Well, I love it that
Sweetie
your
pie.
gorgeous husband is a big supporter of that
Oh,
too, during the
yes,
filming and the whole
yes.
thing.
He knows that it's
so-
just fun. And
Yeah.
look, in preparation for Robbie's show tonight,
Yes,
we
yeah.
started watching the documentary last
Yes, so
night.
did I.
and
So I watched it too.
it's just amazing. And
Yeah.
you know what's really lovely is that artists are really starting to let us into their struggles,
Yeah.
into
True.
the reality of
Yeah.
what it is to be an artist at that level of fame. And I love that because it goes to show that everyone is human. You know, everyone has these bits in their life. I congratulate him on that doco because that
so
takes
good,
balls,
isn't it?
man, to put
I
that out
agree.
there.
I
That
agree.
takes balls.
We're all
Yes.
about on this is honesty, authenticity, and truth, and how healthy that is.
Exactly.
You
And
know?
Robbie,
Like,
if you
yeah.
want to get together and talk about your balls, I'm happy to do that.
For everyone listening, if you ever get a chance, I mean, you just had a little snippet of Catherine singing then, but honestly, I saw her sing in The Divine Miss M, and I still haven't recovered.
still hasn't recovered.
Bold, sassy,
Yeah.
strong. She owns the stage. If you ever get a chance to see her in anything, please go. You'll never look back.
Yeah, the full package.
And that's from
absolutely.
my-
And
yeah.
you're creating this awareness of, like educating us all of the other side and the
True.
real
Oh,
side.
thank you.
Which, you just don't think about that.
That's why
The
Robbie
average
needs to
punter
hear you.
doesn't. So
Yeah.
it's really good to have that awareness.
Thank you so much.
Yes.
I
Robbie,
know.
Robbie,
Oh, God.
Robbie,
Catherine.
Catherine and Robbie. Catherine and Robbie.
So who are your role models, Catherine?
My parents are my role models. Drag queens are my role models. They are so creative and smart. Some of the best MC and comedic work I've ever seen on stage is
Great
from drag
makeup and
queens.
clothing, too.
Oh, the best.
The
They're
greatest.
they're just.
I'm always up.
They're just the creativity that seeps out. I've learnt so many skills about characterization, makeup, wigs, hair, costumes from my beautiful drag queens. Bette Midler, of course. Beyonce, my queen.
The BB.
Have you seen Beyonce?
Bet and Beyonce?
I have seen Beyonce in concert,
Wow.
yes.
Yes.
What I love particularly about Beyonce is that she's self-managed and she directs and produces all of her art, which is constantly evolving. The evolution.
that.
Oh, yeah.
I saw a doco on her, and
she's in total control, and
unbelievable.
that's what I admire.
It was exhausting.
Yes.
I was exhausted watching her.
Yeah. Anyone who makes and creates and forges their own path and their own work is an inspiration to me. Bette created and produced Beaches. So she made that happen for herself. Yes.
So she is a good role model for you because that's
Very
what
much.
you're doing to what you've done,
Yep.
which I think is remarkable
Yes.
when you've created it and formed it. And so Bette Midler's done
And
that.
how's the irony in the same guy that created Bette? Hello. You're just pure joy.
Isn't she pure
We're
joy?
going to do some questions. Do you want to start? Which
If
one are you going to
could
choose?
share a back fence with anybody on planet Earth, who would it be and why?
My grandparents, because they all passed away by the time I was 5 years old. So I didn't really
so
get
grandparents
to know
on
them.
both sides?
On both sides.
Wow.
Yep.
Oh.
Really?
So my dad's dad, Archie, and his wife, Daphne. I met Daphne.
Love the names.
Yes.
Yeah.
And my mother's mum, Catherine, who passed when she was 20 from breast cancer. And her husband, Cliff, who I did meet. So I
Right. You
met
did
dad's
mention
mum
Cliff.
and I met mum's dad.
Right.
But they had all passed by the time I was 5 years old.
Wow, that'd be a conversation and a half.
wouldn't
It would, yeah.
Really?
Yeah, I'd love
That's
to
really
know
special,
them
Catherine.
as adults.
Thank you for sharing that.
Yeah.
That's
You're
really,
welcome.
really special.
Second question,
Yeah.
if you had the opportunity of meeting your 20-year-old self, what would you say to her and why?
I would say comparison is the thief of joy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Love that.
Yeah.
Shut out the noise and you're going to be okay. Keep going.
Yes.
Bravo.
Yes.
Bravo.
And you proved that, baby.
And don't listen to any agents who tell you to lose weight.
Yeah.
Really?
Yes.
Really?
Oh, yes.
In your industry?
Oh,
You know what? I'm glad you've
babe.
actually brought that up. You know, because we're sort
Wow.
of talking about that with, you know, like we're saying with being age positive, size positive,
Oh,
and then
God.
because that's sort of like to get
Honestly?
Oh,
Not
babe,
now.
absolutely.
But we're going back.
We're going back.
Yeah.
I had an audition for
God we've
Greece.
moved
I was
on.
at my lightest weight I'd been. I had an audition for Greece the next week, and I get a call from my agent saying, "How much weight can you lose between now and then?" In 5 days' time. I didn't even look 16 when I was 16. I've always had boobs. I've always had hips. And I rock
She
it.
sounds
And
like
you see,
Bette
I love
Midler.
it, exactly. And you rock it too.
And you
Yes,
just
go
see-
you.
and the spirit is in you.
And I have to say
Wow.
that
Not that she's passed away,
the
Bette. Her
the
spirit.
kids today, what they have done for body positivity. I grew up in the era of Girlfriend and Dolly magazine when all of the supermodels who are still my angels, I love
of
them,
course.
you know.
But they were
waist
But I
and-
never, ever saw myself in those magazines.
No.
And I'm so thrilled at the way that the industry has shifted. I wish I had had that in my life, in my teenage years. And I hate the term plus size. We're just size.
Yeah,
Oh, that's
right.
good. Isn't
We're
it?
just
True.
size.
You've been a role model
Yes,
to
you
a lot
are
of women.
absolutely.
Even talking,
We had Jules Robinson, you know, and that's when she's
Oh.
created the shapewear, but it's for all to celebrate the
She
size that
looks
you're in.
banging.
How
Yeah.
hot is
And
she?
Oh,
She's
she's
amazing.
and
Yeah.
successful and genuine. And I love Jules.
Yes, so
So,
do I.
yeah, I
She's
would just
empowering
and Cam.
women now.
She
and
is.
Cam, she's got another great
Yes.
supportive
Got a
band, and
Cam.
they've got a boy
Every good
too.
girl's got a Cam.
So look,
Can we keep going to midnight? No.
No, but everyone, thank you for
Yeah,
listening.
thank you,
know.
guys.
Yeah, so don't
Yeah.
forget to follow, rate and review. And how many stars do we want, Dodie?
Oh my goodness, I'll have to sort of check in with Bette on that one.
Well, I mean, I only get 5 stars, so that's what you should.
Can you?
What about 5 plus 5? What does that get?
5 plus 5. Yeah, 5.
10
yeah.
out of 5.
What about 5 squared?
Yeah, now we're doing-
Whatever.
oh, you keep
Yeah,
going.
Keep going.
So look forward to you joining us again next Monday. Have fun.
Have fun. Ciao, ciao.